Hello everyone, welcome back. So in previous classes we have seen how we can create the integration server, how we can create the integration node, how we can all the thing we in the related to integration server integration node we have performed successfully. Okay. Now in this class we are going to discuss about the creating the application and creating the message flow and all operation like that, starting and stopping the applications and deploying the application, deleting the application. These all thing we are going to perform here. Okay. So all thing regarding the application and the message flow we are going to discuss here. Okay. So if you talking about the node based design, they prefer to create application and package all the resource like the message flow, ESQL file subflow inside the application and deploying the application into the integration server. Okay, that's the IBM suggestion. IBM is saying that if you are following the node based design, the best approach for you will be create application. Under application you can package all the resource like that message flow, ESQL file subflow, and create a complete solution and deploy that solution into the integration server that is actually running under the integration node. Okay, so let's start by creating the application. So application we create using the toolkit. So we have the toolkit open here and just ignore this application. And currently you can see under the server nothing is running in the ACE node 1, and here also nothing is running. Okay, and ACE 2 node is no server is created. Okay, so this server actually I am going to use, that is the ACE node 1 in this class. Okay, so let's create the application. To create the application, what we have to do, either if you click here new, and you can by clicking on create this application you can create the application. There is a first one way. The second way, if you click on file and if you click on new, you can create the application. Okay, here you have to give the application name. So anything you can give like that, like let me write here like that, test application. So it will be a test app, just like that. Okay, so I'm just creating a test app. Okay, just click on finish. It will create a application name for you. So this is the application name, and under application we used to create the message flow. Just click on plus, it will list whatever the thing you can create. We can create under that message. Under application we can create the message flow. Under application we can create the subflow, message model, message mob, ESQL file, broker schema. These all things we can create under the application. But now we are going to create the message flow. So just click on message flow. Here you have to give the message flow name. So let me write here message flow name. Okay, so here anything you can write like that. Suppose let me write here like test app MQ based. Okay, flow, anything you can write. Okay, that is meaningful name, something like that. Okay, so I am writing the test app, and I am actually following this application. I am going to create a MQ based flow. So just I will just write it like that, MQ based. Okay, under that we have the broker schema. Broker schema basically mainly used when we are actually writing some coding, and which schema, under which schema we want to write some coding. This basically helpful when we are using the compute node. So this you can use, left it by default. Okay, and you can click on finish. And if you want to especially mention, I will show you. Okay, you can write here. Okay, so just select, write here some name that is equal, meaningful name like that, com dot MQ node based flow. Okay, so I written like that, something like that, com dot MQ node base. This actually telling that this is a flow, basically MQ node using, we are creating the flow using the MQ node, and that's like that. Okay, so you either you can leave it by default, or you can mention something like that. This basically we are going to use when we are using the compute node. Okay, just click on finish. Okay, so you can see my flow has been created, and we have the editor open here. Okay, if you can cross here also, or if you want to again reopen it, just double click it, it will reopen it. We have the editor template open here, and here we can design our solution, where we are like here we are going to create our solution. Whatever solution you want to create, we can create here. Okay. Okay, so let's create a simple solution, because currently we are in the beginning of the IBM ACE. So let's create the simple solution. So I am going to create a simple solution where I am going to put some message to the MQ node, and after that I am going to process the application. I am going to put a message to the queue, one queue, and with the help of application we are going to, I am going to get a message to other queue. Because with the currently, if I suppose there is a two queue, let me create a one queue. A queue is here. Okay, suppose there is a, suppose source queue, source, something like this, source, and test app, test test app dot in. Okay, there is a queue name like that. Okay, and click on finish, and there is another queue name like that. Let me make it something like that. Okay, bigger, and another queue, let me like that, destination. I always prefer to capital name. There is no if you write a small name, that will also be fine, but if you write the capital name, if you write in the capital, it will basically be the best approach. Okay, just click on finish. So suppose if I want to, suppose if I want to transfer, if I am putting some message here, and if I want to get this message into this queue, so if I will be, just let me put some message. You can see I have just sent random message, and if I will refresh it, you can see the message currently lie into this queue only, and it is not going to this. Okay, but with the help of ACE application, what we can do, we can transfer some message from this queue to this queue. Okay, with the help of ACE application. So we are going to create an application that basically help me to transferring this message from this and to this queue. Okay, so actually if you go to back to the diagram that I actually explained earlier, so consider this like that. Suppose let me put actual this is actually the working in the local system, that's the reason I am showing here. But if you go to the real environment, it will be like that. It will be like that. Let me just write here like that. Okay, and let me write another queue name here like that. Just give me 1 minute. Another queue name like this queue name. So ideal approach will be like that. Ideal approach is like that. What is happening? Application, there is a source application will be sending a message to this queue, that is MQ, and here in the S we will be design the solution to transfer this message from this queue to this queue of the MQ, and from here there is a application, destination application, that will be taking the message. So this is actually the scenario will happen in the real environment, in the actual environment, where there is a transferring of message happening with the help of MQ and the ACE uh, from the source and destination. So there is a source application which is sending the message to the MQ, and with the help of we are doing some transformation of the message, and after that we are actually sending this message to the destination at this queue, and from this queue destination application is reading this message. Okay, the same actually same solution we are going to design here. Okay, so let's use the MQ based approach. So for that we are going to use the, there are actually in MQ there are divided into three parts like that. If you see here, there are lots of connector present here, and if you see there are lots of every under the everything, there are lots of connector present here. Okay, So there are these are divided in two parts. That is, first part is the toolbox and second part is the connector. This toolbox has some like that error handling, that routing thing, security thing, and subflow and the transformation. So these are actually helping to transform message, to route message. These all thing it is helping, and these are the connector actually is to connect to different application, different in tools like that. This connect these all Amazon connect connector are used to connect with the AWS. These all are using to like that. This is used to connect to Coupa. This is used to connect to the Google Drive. These all are used to Google applications, and these similarly we have the IBM MQ. If you want to connect with the IBM MQ, we have the IBM MQ connector. With the help of that, we can connect to the IBM MQ. So we have under IBM MQ, if you see, there are lots of IBM MQ input, IBM MQ output, IBM MQ reply, get, header, publication. These all things are present. We will be covering each of the theme in the more detail in the MQ classes when we are learning the MQ in detail. But this is the basic of the ACE. So let's understand how we can create the solution. So in this lecture, I will be using these two connectors. That is the MQ input node and the MQ output node. Okay. So MQ input node, what does MQ input node do? MQ input node basically help us to taking the message from this queue. So once the source application will be putting this message to this queue, and if we mention this queue in the properties of this connector, it is going to consume message from the MQ, and after that it is with the help of some compute node, we are going to perform some transformation logic, and it is going to send the message to the MQ output. And in MQ output, again in properties, we are going to mention the queue name of this queue, so that it will transfer message to this queue. Okay. So in MQ input node, let's mention the queue name. Okay. So in MQ input, I will be mentioning the queue name. So there will be a queue name like that. Suppose what is the queue name? This is the queue name, right? So we have mentioned here the source. We have mentioned here the source queue name. You can see this is the queue name we are mentioning here in the properties of this. So how we can see the properties? If you click on this, it will automatically load here lots of tab, and you can switch to these all tab. But currently we need in the properties, so just we are in the properties tab. You can see. So I have mentioned here the queue name. Again, I need to mention the queue name for the output where I want to transfer the message. Okay. So just copy this name and paste here in the MQ output properties. Okay. I just click on save. If you can either you can click Control S to save it, or either you can click from here to Control S to save it, or either you can click on right click here and you here the option to save it. Okay. So there are three ways to save this message flow. Okay. So here we have mentioned the queue name. Okay. In the properties. Now let's use the compute node. In transformation, you will see the compute node. Either you can drag drop here. There is one option. If you drag and drop, it will came here. And there is another option. If you know the name, right click here and click on add node, and you can write here the compute node. It will also, there is another option. So if you know the name, you don't need to search like that. You just write here. You can right click and you can right click on add node. It will, and just write the node, select the node which we want to, like that. If I want to do the compute, I will just do the compute, and you can click on OK. Okay. So it will basically select it. Okay. Just click on this thing. Just connect the terminals. Okay. So that transfer routing can happen. Okay. Just click on save. Okay. So okay, now you can see this cross means there is error, and there are two type of error happen. If I will disconnect it, let me show you. If I will disconnect it, let me disconnect. If I will disconnect it, you can see there is a yellow arrow and there is a red cross. Okay. Yellow means it tell you about the warning, and the red cross is that it is the error, actual error. This is also error, and this is also error, and this all error you can see from here. If you go here in warning, you can see it is saying that MQ input node is unconnected. This node is not connected to this. That's the reason it is giving the warning. But if there is a warning, you can deploy your solution to the integration server. But if there is a error like that red in red, then you cannot deploy your solution to the integration server. Okay, so that's the thing you need to keep in mind. If there is a warning, you can deploy it. If there is a error, then you cannot do it. What is the error is coming in? Error is saying that there is unable to locate something like that. So there is I will do the modification dots, and you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so let's first connect it. Okay, and let me do. Okay, why this is error coming, let me tell you. Okay, and this error is coming because this code are not is not defined. Okay, so if I will do like that, it will, the error will be go. Let me tell you. Okay, if I will do like that, this error will be gone. You can see this error has gone. Okay, but again, this code are the by default code, actually I don't require, so I will be just deleting this code. Okay, and these are also I don't require, so I will be deleting this thing. Okay, I just click on save. Still you can see the error will be gone. Okay, now let me tell you about the compute node. What is compute node and what is the use of compute node? Okay, so compute node is a node that actually help us to transform the incoming message. Okay, so if there is a message coming to this node, and this message we want to do some transformation with the code logic, so with the help of ESQL language we can do some transformation. Okay, with the help of ESQL language, ESQL, if I will do the definitions of the ESQL like that, it is the full form is the extended SQL, that is the extended structured query language. Okay, it is the extended version of the SQL. Initially the SQL language was invented, and after that IBM has did modification with that language with the programming concept, and they renamed it as a ESQL, that is the extended SQL, that is a structured query language. Okay, extended structured query language. Okay, in computer node we can do, in this open area we can do some coding to transform the incoming message to send the new version of the message to the output. Okay, this all ESQL thing we will be learning when in the upcoming classes, when we are learning the ESQL. There will be a separate session where we are going to learn ESQL in the deep in detail. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that if you don't know the ESQLs. Okay, if you saw here, there are the three part divided. There are three main sections happen. Okay, first section is the broker schema. You can see there is the whatever the thing .com MQ node based flow that is written here. First it basically the schema lie here, and this is the schema name that we in while creating the message flow we have mentioned here. Okay, under that schema we have the compute node, and under this is the compute node name that we have actually, that is basically what is that, that is actually the message flow name underscore compute. Okay, so okay, this is the, let me open it again. Okay, so this is the compute node name, and we are creating the function. And what is the function name? This is the function name, and we are returning the boolean, and boolean type currently we are returning as a true. So what is mean by return true, what is mean by return boolean, these all thing you don't need to worry about it. We will learn this thing in different class. Okay, so this is divided into three level. First level is the creating the schema, second level is the creating the compute node, and the third level is the creating the function. Okay, so on this actually what is the benefit of creating the different level, because we can define the variable at different level. We can define, if we define a variable at this level, it will be valid to this both level. If we define a variable at after this level like that, after in this area, it will be valid to only to this function area. Okay, and if you define some variable under this area, it will be valid till under for the function only. Okay, That's a different level, benefits of using the different level. Okay, that will be different class, we don't worry about it. Okay, no. So with the help of, and this is actual the area where we are actually, this is the area where we are actually writing the code, and we are doing the transformation logic to do the incoming message. So when the application is putting, when application is putting a message to this queue, when application is doing putting the message to this queue, to this message will, this with the help of mq input node, because in mq input node, if you see, we have, in mq input node we have defined the queue name here. You can see the, if I will, let me make it closer. Okay, so in mq input, this is the queue name. Once the application will send a message to this queue, this message is going to come to the mq input because of this queue we have mentioned in the property. And after that, here we are going to do some transformation with the help of code logic, and we can transfer this message to the output. And what is the output queue we have mentioned here? We have mentioned here the output queue. This is this queue, that is the test app dot out. This is this queue. So now message will be going to this queue, and from here the destination application can take it. Okay, so with the help of this approach, we are going to send some message to this queue, and we are going to get some message to this queue. Okay, now the one of the so here you can see here what we are going to do. Here basically we are basically, and after, once the solution is created, we are going to deploy this solution to our integration server. So we are combining our mq with the integration node, right? We are combining our server with the integration node. So that's the reason, while creating the broker, I have assigned a default key manager. You can see, while here currently integration server, integration node 1 with the default key manager qm1 is running. So currently I have defined a qm1 for this integration node. Okay, so that's the thing, because we are linking this queue manager with this broker. Okay, so if I will not link this queue manager with this broker, and if I will define this if I will define this queue with the mq input node, while deploying it is going to give a error. Okay, so that's the reason we are basically assigning a queue manager with the broker. Okay, okay, now we have mentioned the queue. Let me write some basic coding like that to so if I will do the set output route is equal to input route. So what I am doing with the single line of code, what I am doing, whatever the message coming from this source application, we are just transferring to the output without any modification with the help of this. So simply what I am doing, whatever the thing coming here, I am not doing any modification. I am just transferring it as it is to this application with the help of single line of coding. This is saying that whatever the input, whatever the coming in input, we are just sending to the output. Okay, okay, so whatever the coming to the input, whatever the coming from the input, we are just transferring to this output. And what is this mean by these linings? Okay, these connections. Okay, this connection basically help us to route the information, because once the message came to by this, once the message sent by the source application to this queue, with the help of mq input node, we are going to, mq input node is going to take the message. But where this mq input node need to transfer this message, that basically decided by this actually connection. This connection basically tells the mq input node that this message that you taken has to transfer this to this compute node. Once this will come to this compute node, whatever the code written here, it basically it is going to read it. After reading this compute node, again this compute node also need to tell the where this message need to be transferred, and this compute node is going to say that this message need to be routed to this output node. Again in output node we have the queue mentioned here, and this message is going to transfer to this queue, and we are going to see the message to this queue. Okay, So our solution has been created. Okay, this solution basically is doing a simple job. It is whatever the message sending to this queue, it is basically taking it and it is transferring to this queue. Okay. Okay, so we have created our application. Okay, so our creation of application using the toolkit has been done. Okay, creating the message flow also has been done. We have created the message flow because this is the message flow, right? Again, if you want to create a more message flow, what you have to do, just right click here and new and the message flow, it will create and give the name of message flow. And under the same application we can again design the new solution also, and that's all we can do. Okay, suppose if I want to transfer some whatever message came here, I want to transfer to another queue, then you can do you can create a new message flow and you can do it. Okay, so under application, under I already told you, under integration node we can create a many integration server, and under each integration server we can create a many application. Under each application we can create a many message flow. Okay, so if you want to create a message flow, just right click here and new, and also you can write do message flow. That's also work. Okay, okay, so we can create a message flow, but currently for now I'm just creating one message flow, and this message flow basically taking the message from one queue and sending to the other queue, and just doing nothing, just taking input and sending to output. Okay, so I have created the application, I have created the message flow. Now the third step is the creating the bar file using the apply toolkit. Okay, so how you can create the bar file, and what is mean by bar file? BAR, that is the bar file, and the full form, if I say about the bar file, is the broker archive file. Okay, the whatever the solution we created here, because currently if you can see in our solution we have the message flow also, we have the ESQL files also. You can see this is the ESQL file. So this all I currently there is this is a small flow, right? If ideally in the real environment we have the each application contains the five message flow and the lots of ESQL file, and there are some resource file also. There are lots of file, you can see more than 10-20 files are present. Okay, and if you deploy this solution, that will also fine. If you just right click here and deploy, it will deploy the solution. Okay, that's not a big deal, but IBM suggests that, and it is also the best approach, that before deploying the solution directly by you can, if you want to deploy a solution, just you can right click here and just click on deploy. It will deploy the application to the server. That's the good, that's the one approach. Okay, but the best approach is that first create the bar file, broker archive file, and with the help of broker archive file deploy the solution. Okay, so that's the thing we are going to follow. We are going to first create the bar file. Once the bar file has been created, we are going to deploy our solution with using the toolkit or the whatever the things. Okay, so let's deploy our solution. Let's create the bar file. To create the bar file, broker archive file, just right click to the application and just click on new, and if you go to the below, there is an option called the bar file. You can see there is a bar file. Whatever the thing you want, whatever the name you want to fruitful name like that, or a useful name you want to write here, you can write here. Anything you go like this. For me, I just writing like that test apps. I'm just writing the same application name. If you want anything, you can write here. Okay, so you can write any name that will be helpful to you for the bar file. Just click on finish. Okay, just select the application basically for that you want to include in the bar file. The main benefit of using the bar file is that you can see here, if here we have the option, either I can create a bar file using the including the both two application, and we can deploy two application together with the help of single bar file, or either I can just I can just create a one bar file for each bar file for each application, and I will be creating the separate application, separate bar file for the separate application. So bar file is a just if I define the bar file in the definition language is like that. Bar file basically creates a package with the help of all resource that you can deploy. Okay, so we can deploy the our applications with the help of bar file. Okay, so either you can deploy many applications with the help of single bar file, or you can deploy your single application with the help of bar file. Okay, so currently I don't want to deploy this one, I just want to deploy the new one that I created. Just I am going to select this one and just click on build and save. This is going to, you can see, this is going to create a bar file. Okay, if you see here now in the bottom section, there is a bar file section came here. If you can see, there is a same, the test app dot bar has been created. And what are the things present under the bar file? If you want to see, just click on manage tab. Under manage tab, you are going to see what are the things present here. Okay, under the bar file, under bar file we have some descriptor file, ASQL file, message flow, and under message flow you can see, you are going to see the what are the thing, compute node, MQ input node, MQ output. These all things are present under this bar file that we have created. Okay, under the test app, test underscore app, whatever the thing we have created. Okay, these all are the thing present here. There are some user log, you can see here whatever the thing you have done, this log have, you can see, and there are some service log also present, you can see also here. Okay, okay, mostly we see in the manage tab to see what are the thing present under this, what are the thing present under this test underscore app bar. Okay, so we can see from here. Okay, okay, so we have created the bar file, and the bar file you can see from here. Okay, if you want to see where my bar file is created into, because this is actually created into some space, right? So where, if you want to see where my bar file actually present, the bar file present in your this location that you have created. Okay, C user Rishu Tiwari IBM ACE 13, this is the, it basically creates a file under your workspace. Under your workspace basically it creates file. So let me go to the file C user, let me go to again file C users, and Ishtiwari, and under that we have the IBM and the ACE 13, and workspace, under this workspace we have the bar file, and under the bar file you can see that this is the bar file. Okay, so this is the bar file created, and this is the actual bar file, this bar file, and this bar file is showing that is the same bar file. Okay, that the whatever the workspace present here in the same location, you are going to see the bar file that we have created. Okay, and whatever the bar file we created, if there is 5 bar file, we are going to see the 5 bar file in this location. Okay, now let's deploy the application with the help of this bar file. Okay, so I already told you there are many ways to deploy your application. Either you can deploy using the console, or either you can deploy using the toolkit, or either you can deploy using the web console. Okay, so let's first deploy using the toolkit, then I will see the later options later. Okay, so let's, to deploy our solution, what you first approach is right click here and deploy it. Click on deploy and select where you want to deploy. I want to deploy into this under in server 1 under the S node 1, and just click on finish. It will do. But this is not the best approach. The best approach is the, just create the bar file and just click on deploy on the bar file and select where you want to deploy. Just I want to deploy under the server 1 under the S node 1. So I want to deploy into the integration server 1. Just click on finish. It will deploy the solution under the, you can see the task has been completed successfully. And if you see here in the server 1, if I will expand it, you can see the currently the test app 1 is running here. Okay, you can see the test app is running here. Okay, right? Okay, but currently in the server 2 nothing is running, you can see. Okay, so that's the best thing. There is a one way to deploy our solution. Okay, apart from that there are many ways, I will tell you later. Okay, so you can see I have deployed our application using the toolkit. Okay, so you can see currently this is the integration node. Under integration node we have the integration server 1. Under integration server we have the application this. Under application we have the message flow this. Okay, and the whatever the SQL file, is all things. Okay, so just right click here, deploy, click on deploy, select where you want to deploy and just click on finish. It will deploy the application. Okay, so we have seen how we can deploy your application using the toolkit. If you want to deploy your solution using the console, you can do the same thing. That's not a big deal. So how we can do using the console, let me tell you. Okay, currently if you see the same, currently you see in the under the server 2, nothing has been deployed, right? Let me deploy the same application in, let me deploy the same application in this area in the server 2. Okay, using the console to deploy the integration, to deploy the application with the help of bar file, with the help of bar file, because because here we can directly right click here and deploy your application, right, using the toolkit. But in the console, if you want, in the web console, in the, sorry, in the command prompt, if you want to deploy your application into the integration server, we need the bar file. Without the bar file, we cannot deploy our application with the help of command prompt. Okay, with the ACE console. Okay, so already I have created the bar file, and by bar file location is this. Okay, so we can deploy our solution, that's not a big deal. Okay, so whatever the command is, the mqsi deploy is the command to deploy our application. Where I want to deploy our application to the which node? I want to deploy to the ACE node under one, under ACE node 1. Which server I want to deploy? I want to deploy to the server 2. And what is the file you want to deploy? So what is the bar file? You have to give -a and the bar file location name. So let me copy this thing. Let me copy this thing. This is the location, and let me just write here. And under that we have the file name is the. Let me copy the file name also. This file is going to execute. Okay. Okay. So let me do like that. Okay. Okay. So after running this, the after running this under the server 2, same application test app is going to deploy. Okay, so what is the command? Let me again tell you. mqsi deploy is a command to deploy application to integration server. Under which integration node our server is present? The ACE node 1. What is the integration server where we want to deploy our application? This is the server 2. -a is a command to deploy, and -d is to delete. -d I will show you later. This is actual the bar file location, where we actually we need to mention where the bar file is present. We have the two option: either you can directly go either you can change this location to this path and mention directly the file name only, or you can specify, if you are running this command from different location, you can mention the whole path. Okay, just click on enter. Okay, currently it is giving the error. What error is giving? mqsi, just let me see. mqsi deploy integration server name, and okay, might be invalid or badly formatted is saying that. Okay, mqsi deploy ACE node 1 -e server. I think I'm giving correct, not sure how it is saying badly formatted. Okay, okay, let's try with this command. Actually, maybe the I don't think they have changed the command, but not sure why they still there, it is not working. So let me modify the command with this thing. Okay, the here the integration node name is the ACE node 1, and the integration server name is the server 1. Okay, and the bar file name is the Why it is giving the bracket? Let me see. Single bracket. Okay, where the bracket is ending. Var file, var file name. Times and okay. Let me keep again like that. Let's see what is happening. But I'm sure that command will work. Let's see. Let's see if this command is working. Okay, still it is giving error. Let me not sure why this is keep giving the error. Let me do one thing. MQS say deploy is node 1. I am giving the correct node name, right? Is node 1. Okay. Now minus E server is server 2. Okay. Minus A the path. Let me do this thing, but it should work because this is required, right? Not sure why this. Okay. Still it is giving error. Last time I want to try this thing. I want to change. Let me try to because ideally it should work, but not sure why this is problem. Let me change the path. I have changed the path. Let me do the MQSI deploy again with the ACE node 1 and then minus E with the server 2 and minus A with the bar file name, and the bar file name is the what is the bar file name in the test app.bar. Test app.bar. Now you can see it will deploy. Okay, now you can see deploying the bar file this to the integration server. This integration server is not available. It is saying that integration. Okay, deploying this to the integration node S node 1 integration server. This the integration server could not find. Okay, maybe I have written the wrong spelling. SERVER2. Okay, just let me check. Refresh. Okay, currently it is saying currently it downloads your. Let me try and make it up. Server 2 not sure why it is down. Let me do the MQSI list. Okay. MQSI list and the ACE node 1. It will list all the integration servers. Okay, currently only one integration server is present. Not sure. Okay, maybe I have deleted the integration server too. Okay. So if I will refresh it again. Okay, currently only one is running. Okay. So I need to create the integration server 1 either, or I can deploy the same solution into the this. But let me create the another integration server. Okay, from the toolkit itself. Okay, let me create the integration server server 2 2. So server 2 has been created and it is running now. Let me check from the console also. If I will do again list mqsi list, it will list the, now you can see a server 2 is running. Now again let's deploy the solution. Okay, what I am doing, mqsi deploy integration node name minus e integration server where I want to deploy the application, and minus a bar file name, and this bar file is present into this location. So I just moved this, I just moved moved the location to this location, and I am running actually specifying the bar file name, that this bar file name I want to deploy it. Okay, so currently if you see under the server 2 nothing is application deployed, so let me deploy it. Okay, let's see what. Okay, deploying the bar file this to the integration node is node 1 under integration server is server 2. Application test has been created successfully, deployment request is processed successfully. Now you can see the application has been deployed successfully, and you can see from here also, you can see if I will refresh the ACE server 2 again, you can see now test app is deployed here. Okay, so now you can see from here also, let me make it bigger here, so like that. Okay, so now you can see from here under this node we have the server, under server 1 the same application is deployed, and the server 2 same application is deployed. Okay, so we can deploy our application using the toolkit with directly either using this thing, or best approach is to create a bar file and deploy our application using this thing. Okay, another approach is to deploy using the command like that, using the mqsi deploy broker name minus e server name minus a the bar file name. With the help of this thing we can deploy our bar file, we can deploy our application to the integration server. Okay, now the third approach we can also follow to deploy our application is the using this thing. If I open this one, let me open this into the web console, and I think already it is opened, yes, node 1. Okay, so if I will refresh this thing, you can see currently this under the ACE node we have the integration server, server 1, server 2. Under server we can deploy our application. The how we can deploy our application, to deploy your application we have to just click on this deploy into this server, just click on this, select the bar file, you can add the bar file, you can add the bar file from our you can select this thing like that. You can, if I will do like the same, select the location, if I will do, you can see if I will select this thing and click on open, you can see, and if I will click on deploy, it will deploy the bar file. So we can deploy our bar file using the either using the, we can deploy bar file, you can see the deployed to server. Okay, so now you can, it has been deployed. If I will, you can see it is already deployed, but I did redeployed. Okay, so we can deploy our solution, we can deploy our application with the help of toolkit. The best approach is to create a bar file and deploy to the integration server. Second approach is to deploy our application using the command prompt with the help of command like that, the mqsa deploy broker name minus e integration server name minus a the bar file name. And the third approach is either you can deploy your solution with the help of web console, and what you have to do, you have to just right click here and deploy into the server, and you can deploy from here. Okay, ideally the people follow using the command prompt the best, because they are working into Linux environment, so they follow the command prompt thing. Okay, now this is the way how we have seen how we can create the application, how we can deploy the application, right? We have the created application, we have deployed the application. Now what are the thing left? Let's we have seen the how we can deploy the application using the toolkit, using the command prompt, and using the web console. Okay, now the last thing is the deleting the application using toolkit and command prompt and web console. But before deleting the application I want to show you something different. Okay, we have seen how we can list the integration server, integration node, how we can using the mqsa list command. We have seen how we can list the integration server with the mqsi list broker name, but we have not seen how we can list the how many message how many application running under the each integration server, and how many message flow running under the each application. Okay, so how we can list the integrations application running under the integration server, and how we can list the message flow running under the application. So we have a similar command like that. If I want to, suppose if I will do mqsi list, it, sorry, let me do like that, mqsi list. Okay, so it will list all the integration node present. Okay, so you can see currently 3 integration node is present. Okay, if I want to see what are the how many integration server running under this so I will do mqsi list. This all thing I already explained you. So let me again recap it. Okay, so node 1, that is I've written wrong thing, let me again modify this, node 1. Okay, so it will list all the integration server running under the ACE node 1. So you can see currently 2 integration server, server 1 and server 2 running under the ACE node 1. Okay, further if I want to see how many applications running under the integration server 1, then how we can see? So we have the similar command, just do -e and the server 1. It will list all the application running under the integration server 1. Okay, so you can see currently that only one application, that is a test app, is running under the integration server 1. Okay, so it mqsi list integration node name -e integration server name will list the total integrations, total application running under this integration server. Okay, similarly if I want to see how many application running under the integration server 2, so it will list mqsi list integration node name and -e the integration server name. It will list the all the application running under the integration server 2. Okay, so you can see currently this app running. Now if I want to see, currently you can see the under each application many message flow can run. If I want to check uh, if I want to check how many message flow is running, and the best, we can only not, we can not only check the how many message flow or how many applications running, we can check whether what is the status of this. You can see, you can, the test app is currently running, you can see here. Okay, you can see under the server 2 also the test app is running. Okay, so we can check the status of the application, we can check the status of the message flow also. So let's, if you want to check the status of the message flow in the server 1, so if I will do -k and the application name, that is the test app, test app. Okay, and if I will do, it will list all the message flow and their status. Okay, so you can see the message flow, this on the integration server 1 it is running. Okay, it will list the status of the message flow, whether it is running or not also, and if any other file like that esql file is deployed, it will list the file also. Okay, so what we can do, if you will do mqsi list, it will list the broker name, whatever the broker present. If you will do mqsi list and the broker name, it will list the all the integration server running under the that integration node. If you will do mqsi list broker name -e integration server name, it will list all the application running under that integration server. If you will do mqsi list integration node name -e integration server and -k the application name, this all syntax you need to -k -e, this you need to remember. Okay, so -k application name, so it will list all the application, all the message flow running under the integration server 1. Okay, so and it will, as you can see, it is just giving the status that is running. Okay, for we have seen how we can check the status of application and message flow running or not with the help of command prompt, and we can also see how many application running we can check from with this command. Okay, further if I want to suppose stop this application, start this application, so how we can stop this application and how we can start this application. So to stop this application, again we have the similar command like that for stopping the what we did for the stopping the integration server. There is command mqsi stop message flow and -e and mqsa stop message flow and the broker name, that is the ACE node 1, and -e integration server name, that is server 1. If I will run this command, it will basically stop the integration server 1. Okay, but if I will specify -k and the application name, test app, it will stop the application. You can see it will stop the application. You can see the request to stop has been completed, and if I again list the application, oh sorry, it is stopped the message flow. So let me do, okay, again I have written the wrong command. Okay, this is the correct. Okay, you can see that it stops the application. So mqsi stop message flow, broker name -e, server name, it will stop the server 1. But if I will do specify -k and the application name, it will stop the application. Okay, you can see the currently the application is stopped. Further, if I want to start the application, how can we start it? Similar same command, what we have to do, same command we can run like that. mqsi stop, instead of a stop we have to just mention the start. If I will do mqsi start integration node name -e integration server name -k application name, it will start the application. Okay, now you can see it has been started. If I will do again mqsi list integration node name and -e integration server name, you can see it is starting, it is running. Okay, further, especially if you want to stop only message flow, then how we can do? Okay, in same command you can modify the, if you can see, if I want to, in same command if I want to modify, okay, in same command if I want to do modify, and if I want to only stop the message flow, we can again mention like that -m and the message flow name. It will stop only message flow, not the application. You can see the request to stop the message flow has been completed. If I will check the status of the application is running, but message flow is stopped. You can see the application this is running, but if I will check the status of the message flow will be stopped. Let me show you. You can see message flow is, application is running. You can see application is running, but only message flow is stopped. Okay, again if you want to start, again similar command you can do, only instead of a stop you have to do a start. It will start the message flow. It will start the message flow, and you can check the status again. You can see now it is running. So let me summarize the thing. We have seen how we can deploy the application. After that, if you want to list the only integration node, you can do mqsi list. If you list the integration server, you can do mqsi list broker name. If you want to list the integration server application, then mqsi list broker name, then -c integration server name. It will list all the integration server. Further, if you want to list all the application running under the integration server, you have to specify -k and the application name. Further, if you want to, it will list the all the message flow running under this application. Okay. Further, if you want to stop the mass application, if you want to do, because we have already seen the how we can stop the server. To stop the server, just if you run like that till here, it will stop the integration server 1. But if you want to stop the application, you have to specify -k and the application name which you want to stop. If you run till here, it will stop the application. Further, if you want to start, instead of stop, you have to mention start. It will start the application. Further, if you want to again instead of application, if you want to stop only the message flow, so after the -k, you have to mention the -m for message flow, and the message flow name you have to mention here. And from where you can get the message flow, once we list, it will give the message flow. This is the message flow name. Okay, so it will stop the message flow. Again, if you want to start the message flow, instead of stop, you have to mention here the start, and it will start the message flow. Okay, it will start. You can see this is the command. It will start the message flow. Okay, so we have seen how we can start, stop, everything we can perform the message flow. Same thing you can perform from the command prompt also. If you go to the command prompt, and you can see, if you want to stop the application, right click here, and if you click on stop, it will stop it. If you want to stop the application, you can click on here, stop it. And if you want, again, it will, when it will be in stop tested, it will become a start. Similarly, if you want to again do same perform thing using the console, if you go to the application, you can see, if you click on stop, it will stop it. If you click on delete, but before, best practice is first stop then delete. Okay, again, if you want to okay, if you want to, okay, if you want to delete the message flow, if you go under the message flow, if you click on stop message flow, it will stop the message flow. Okay, so same thing we can perform using web console, same thing we can perform using the toolkit, but the best, my main focus will be on the command, because command is the most used thing. I have shown you how we can deploy the message flow, how we can list the application and the message flow, how we can stop and start the message flow, but I have not shown you how we can delete the message flow. Okay, so suppose if I want to delete the message flow, because currently if you see, uh, in the both server my application is running. If you see, the in server 1 application is also running, and if you see in the server 2 also application is running, but I want application 2 running only in the server 1, so I want to delete under the server 2. Okay, so we have the command like that, mqsi deploy. Same command, mqsi deploy. We have to change the only parameter, and the broker name is the ACE node 1, and under which integration server you want to delete the application. I want to delete the integration under the server 2. Okay, and -d. Okay, just let me recap. And -d and the application name. Okay, okay, test app. Okay, this is the command. This time we don't need to mention the bar file name. Earlier basically we are mentioning the bar file name test app dot bar, but here we have to mention the application name. Okay, the mqsa deploy integration node name, under integration node name integration server where we have deployed our application. So if you see, in the server 2 we have deployed our application. Okay, this application, and this application we want to delete. -d is for deleting, and this is the application which want to delete. Okay, so let's run the command. Okay, if I will run the command, it will delete the application. So you can see the removing the objects application, this has been deleted and deployment successfully. Now if you see again using the mqsi list and in the mqsi list and the server 2, you will not going to see the test app under the, you can see there is nothing deployed. Okay, and if I will refresh this thing also, you are not going to see. You can see Currently it is, if you will refresh this thing, you can see there is nothing deployed under the server 2. Okay, so in this way we can deplete the application with the help of -t and the application name. Okay, so if I will summarize the thing what we have learned in this lecture, we have created the application using the toolkit, and application that we created is this application we have created, and we have uh, created the message flow. Under that you can see you have created the message flow. Now we have created the bar file, so that we, and with the help of bar file we delete it, we deployed into the using the toolkit, we deployed using the command prompt, and we deployed using the web console also. We have seen how we can list the application, how we can list the message flow, how we can list the using the how can start the message flow and application. We have seen how we can delete the application using toolkit, how we can delete the application using command prompt, and how we can delete the application using the console. Delete is a similar thing, just right click and click on delete, it will delete it. Okay, this all thing we have seen. Okay, now it's time to test the application. Okay, because we have created the application, we have deployed the application. You can see my application is running under the, if I will refresh again, you can see my application is running under the server 1. Okay, now my motive was to, when I will send a message to this here, it will go to here. Okay, okay, you can see already it is working, and whatever the message already I put it here, it is now in this application. You can see it is already working. Okay, if I will browse the message, you can see the same message is present here. Okay, so I whatever the message earlier I sent here, it is present here. Okay, now let's test the message flow, so whether it is working or not. Okay, so there are two way to test the message flow. Let me go back to show you. Okay, so either we can test the message flow using the flow exciser, or either we can test the message flow using the debugger. In this lecture both I am going to show you how we can test the flow. Okay, so we can the flow exciser was earlier not present in the IIB. I think IIB version it was not present, but from the ACE it has been new introduced. So we can test our flow using the flow exciser, and we can test the flow using the debugger also. Okay, so I will be testing each one of them separately and to show you. Okay, then let's test the flow using the first flow exciser. Okay, to test the flow using the flow exciser, what we have to do, we have to first, let's go to integration toolkit, and just there you can see there are this is the flow exciser, and there are the lots of option. This option is to start the flow exciser, this is to send a message, this is used to uh, record the save the all records, and this is something used to view the path, and this is used to clear the records. Okay, so these are the many options present here. Okay, now just click on the start flow exciser. It will give you where on every time when you click on a start flow exciser, it will redeploy your application. Okay, so select where you want to redeploy. Again I want to redeploy to server 1. Okay, just click on finish. Already deployed, just click on yes. Okay, because it is already deployed. So again, on every time when you use the flow exciser, it will deploy your application, it will come like that. Okay, now my flow exciser is ready, and you can see it is recording. It is currently in recording mode, so my flow exciser is working fine. Now it's time to test the application. So what I am going to do, I am going to put a message to here, and it will be going to this queue. Okay, so currently you can see in this queue only one message is present in the destination queue. Currently you can see there is only one message present. So I am going to put another message to this queue, and it will be going to this queue. Okay, so I am going to put the message with the help of not MQ. I will be showing the using both way. Let me show you. Let me say told you. Okay, first let me show using the flow exerciser, then I will be sending using the this MQ Explorer also. Okay. So flow exerciser is giving you a flexibility. Either if you don't have the external tool, so you can use the either external tool, or you can use the toolkit itself to test the flow. Okay. So let me first use the external tool itself. So let me send some message. I will be put text message. I will be just writing my name, and is Rishu Tiwari. Okay. Okay. So I just written my name and just click on put text message. So I just sent one message to this queue, and if you see, currently this message came here. Okay. And if I will browse this message, same message we are going to see Rishu Tiwari. You can see same message Rishu Tiwari. That is the second message you can see. Okay. But here in the flow exerciser, we can see the path. How we can see the path? If you click on view path, it will list the path. You can see it will tell you in between what is happening. If you click on this, it will sing, if it will give you what is happening. This is something the blob message, that season it will be giving into the correct this digit format. If I will copy this value, and if I will go to the notepad, it will give you the, let me tell you, you can see, if I will convert this blob to the uh, hex ASCII, you can see it is the Rishu Tiwari. And this is the actually what we are sending to input, that is saying. And you can see other properties. You can see that these are the other properties. Under the MQMD we have the other properties. What is MQMD, what is the property, this we will be covering in the next lecture. Okay. So, and after that, after the compute node, what is happening, what is, so this is actually saying that what, once we put the message to this, once we put message to this queue, what information is applied to this compute node, and after transformation, what message is applied to here. So you can see this. If I will copy again this thing value, and if I will do again checking, let me again do the same transformation from hex to ASCII. You can see same thing is coming, same information is coming. Okay. So you can see this is telling that how we can see the transformation happening from once we put a message. It is, so whatever the where is the connections between the node, it will be basically populating the information. So we can check populating the information. Okay. So there is a one connection here, and there is one connection here. So it will basically list once the message will, once we put the message here, it will basically tell you here what information we are sending, and here it is saying what information after transformation it is going to the output. Okay. After that, if you want to save the message, if you click on save record, it basically save the record. And if I will go to the test app, under the other resource, you can see this has been saved, the file has been saved into the other resources. Okay. And you can open this file also. If I will open it, open with the text editor, it will open like that. Okay. Okay. Now if I want to cross this thing, if I want to the whatever the thing it is showing here, if I want to test another message, so I will click on cross. If I will click on cross, it basically remove the first testing result, and it is ready to test another result. There is another way to test the message to directly to this MQ input with the help of send message. If I will click on send message, and if I will click on input message, and if I will click on new message, and here basically it will say, it will ask you where we want to put. I want to put into MQ input. Okay. What information you want to put, either you can import from your local system. Okay. Or I can write directly to here some information. So let me write here like that, my name is RK Tiwari. Okay. So just I you can write any message. Okay. But I just written here, and just click on apply. Apply is just like that, saving to this local. Okay, just click on send. Once I will click on send, it will open like that. It will doing some thing like that, and just click on close. Okay, and you can see again the same next message has been sent to the output. And if you will again go and browse this too, if you will refresh the thing. Okay, not sure why the message has been, for all the messages in purged. Okay, let me show you here, just 1 minute. If I will, you can see the same message has been came here. If I will copy and just see the value, let's see what is the value coming here. If I will select this, and again if I will go to the converter to convert it, you can see my name is RK Tiwari. It is coming like that. And again if I will go to the this thing, whatever the coming after transformation, it is coming like here. If I will come and copy this thing, and it, if I will again test this thing, uh, if I will again check this thing, you can see this thing coming. Okay, so if I will again, if I want to again cross this thing, they will do the cross. Okay, it will cost the thing. Again if I will see, okay, if you input send, okay. Okay, this is the way to testing. Not sure why the problem is happening and it is not going to the output. Okay, that's the different case. But if I will test the solution, you can see, if I want to again terminate the debugger, just you have to click on this, it will terminate the debugger. Okay, so this is the way we can test. Again, if you want to normal test to testing without in debugging mode, without in the flow exciser mode, you have to click on put text message. You just write any random message and you can click on put, and we are going to see the message into the MQ output. You can see into the MQ output browse message, same message you are going to see here. Okay, okay, this is the way to we can test it. Okay, so this is how we can test using the flow exciser. Okay, so the flow exciser, if you are using the external tool to something like that, best approach I will follow basically, launch that flow exciser and send some message using the external tool and test it. Okay, this basically help us to see the path between them. The second approach is the using the debugger. Using the debugger we can test the application. Okay, so how we can learn, how we can use the debugger. Okay, debugger is basically used to debug the code line by line. We can do the debugging line by line things. Okay, so to launch the debugger, just click on the server thing where basically message flow is application is deployed. There is a launch debugger option is there. Just click on configure. There will be some debug port you need to give. So let me write some debug port like that, uh, 1458, something like that. Anything you can write. Just click on OK. It will basically going to stop the integration server and start it, because after defining the debug port, integration server need to be restarted. So it will be stopping the integration server and starting the integration server. So using the debugger thing, we can debug the application again. So let's see how we can debug it. Okay, let's application to be started. Okay, so we have seen the flow. Now you click on OK. Okay, so you can see, if I will currently, it is launching. Now you can see there is also this of this integration server, this integration diagram is different. There is some different thing is showing here, and if you right click here also, you can see there is a something red thing run is here. This means that a terminate there is a terminator debugger is launched. You can see there is a terminate debugger is option is coming, and there is a launch debugger. Launch debugger is faded, and this is in the uh, state. So it means that now debugger is in the launched. Okay, so in this way we can, if you want to further terminate the debugger, you click on terminate, it will terminate it. And further we don't need to configure the debugger port, because this is the one time work. Okay, again if you want to launch the debugger, just click on OK, it will launch the debugger. Okay, you can see now debugger has been launched. Okay, so we have launched the debugger. Now it's time to test the application, but before testing we have to do the, we have to add the breakpoints. If you click on, right click on here and add the breakpoint, there is one option to add the breakpoint. There are other option, if you right click here and add breakpoint after node, after that you can also add the breakpoint. This breakpoint basically helping us to stop the debugger to see what is present there. Okay, what is present. So, and if you want to add some breakpoint between the code, you can also add. If you want to add breakpoint to here, if I want to add breakpoint to this line, you can add the breakpoint also. And if you want to show the lines of the code, you can also show here. You can, it will list the all the lines of the code. There are some options also. And if you want to hide the line, you can also hide the line also. Okay, so these are the options. So you can add the debugger point, you can add the breakpoint between the code, you can add the breakpoint between the terminal, between the nodes with in the terminals. And this breakpoint basically helping us to see what is following when we send the message to MQ input. So let me send the message to MQ input using the MQ Explorer. So let me put text message, and I'm just writing the message like that, uh, Tiwari only. Okay, put text message Pundik. I just sent the message. You can see already it is coming like that. It is asking to confirm perspective switch. It is asking to switch to debug perspective. So during the initial lecture we have seen that there are different perspective, like Java perspective, DevDel perspective, debug perspective. Now if you click on the switch, it will basically, it is going to switch to the debug perspective. Just if you click on switch, it is going to switch to debug perspective. Now it is opened into the debug perspective mode. Okay, now you can see here it is yellow something is showing. It means that here is the message that we sent here. The message we have sent here currently is in the transit and is in this location. Currently if you see here, there is no message present into the queue. Currently you see there is no message present into the queue. Okay, but and because that's in, that is currently in transit to the in the ACE flow. Okay, and you can see everything, what are the properties coming here, what are the MQMD here, what are the blob thing here. You can see this is actually the, if I will copy and show you, this is actually the Tiwari in the hexadecimal. If I will do the conversion from hexadecimal to ASCII, you are going to see, you can see it is the Tiwari. Okay, okay, now if you want to there are many options here. You can see if you want to switch over, it will directly move to this thing. And if you click on step into source, it will direct it will you will be going to this compute node. If you click on the run to completion, it will directly complete the solution without going to any of the breakpoints. So there are many options. If you want to resume it, it basically helping you to move to the only breakpoints. Okay, so let me show you each one of them. Okay, if I will click on this thing, it will directly moving to it is going to move to breakpoints. Okay, so you can see it is moving one line by line. If you click on this one, it basically step over is moving line by line to the breakpoints, and it will, you can see the message. To switch the line by line, you are going to, now you can see the message has been reached here. Okay, And if I will browse the message, you can see the same message, Tiwari. Okay. So what happen if I will use this one step over? It will be first going here. After that, it is going to line by line in the compute node. And let me again, just me first, let me remove this breakpoint, and let's test something. Remove breakpoint, and let me again send the message, some message. I want to test something. Okay, how, what are the behavior happening with different cases. I just sent random message. Message came here. Let's use this again time. You can see I just click here, it directly moved to the different breakpoint. So with the help of this, it basically help us to resume to different breakpoints, and it directly goes out. Okay, and you can see the second message we are going to see here. Okay, now let's put another message, because we are checking the behaviors. Okay, I will be showing all the message at the last. Okay, just send random message. Now it came here. Now let's see what is, how it is working, this one. If you click this one, it basically help you to go inside the compute node. You can see, go inside the compute node, and you can, if there is 1,000 line of code, you can write, you can be, you will be moving each one of the line separately. If I will click, if I will click on this one, you can see it is running each line of the code, and you are going to see in the output what are the output is coming. You can see same thing, output is coming, and whatever the present in the input, it is coming. In input, you can see same thing is present, in output is same thing is going. Okay, and same thing came. If I will terminate it, what is happening? Debugger has been stuck. Not sure why debugger has been stuck. Okay, let me again launch the debugger. Sometime problem happens, so these are the common things if you need to. Okay, let me again launch the thing. Let me first terminate debugger, again launch the debugger. Okay, there is some problem happening. In, if this type of problem happening, just what you have to do, just cross the toolkit again and just reopen it. Most of the time I have seen this type of issue happen, because sometime there is this type of problem you are going to see, and this will be resolved if you again reopen the toolkit. So let's wait till the toolkit is opening. We will be going to explore each of the options of the in the upcoming classes. Already we will be going to each of them, because we will be debugging each applications to see what is going on, what is everything, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so now we have launched the toolkit again. Let's try to again launch the debugger. Okay, so just go to the application and server. Let's refresh the application. Still application is not refreshed properly. Refresh it. Which currently under the ACE node 1, I am not seeing any deployed application. Not sure what is happening. Okay, not sure why this all thing has been gone. Okay, let me check here. in the command prompt what is happening. If I will do mqsi list, and if I let me check whether the application is there or not. If I will do the mqsi list server 1, under server you can see test application is running, mqsi list is node 1 server 1, but here it is not showing. I will again refresh this one. Let me refresh the application. Sometimes this type of problem creates, so you need to be don't need to be panic, just you have to wait, okay, and keep the patience, and you have to take the help of the console. Currently you can see I am seeing in the under the ACE node 1, under the server we have server 1, we have the application running, but here it is not showing in the toolkit. So what we have to do, we have to just right click here and refresh it, and you have to wait until it is going to refresh, okay. So let's wait until it is going to refresh. So sometime there is some, not sure why the it is taking so time. I tried to stop the broker also, so it is taking time, so there might be some problem, okay. My integration, these all thing is getting hang. Even I am trying to stop the server, it is taking so much time, so maybe I need to restart again broker, okay. So that's all about the application thing on the debugging thing, okay. This debugger thing, you don't need to worry about that. What are the because in each lecture of the ACE I am going to use the debugger, so this thing you are going to see in very much detail, and we will be going to the hand-on practice. Even this flow exciser I am going to use in each of this lecture, okay. So this all, both how we can use the flow exciser and how we going to use the debugger, a lots of practice is going to happen. So that is going to be very detailed things. My main motive was to show you how we can use the flow exciser and how we can do it to the debugger. So to use the flow exciser, we have the let me summarize the thing. To use the flow exciser, what we have to do, we have to like that just click on this flow exciser, and we can send a message with the help of MQ Explorer, or there are some option we can send a message using this also, and we can see what are the message coming in between the paths, okay. Either there is another option. What we can do, we can we can just right click on the integration server. We can right click on integration server, and we can assign some debug port, and after that, with the help of that debug port, we can launch the debugger. And after launching the debugger, again we can send some message with the help of MQ Explorer, and whatever the message we have sent, we are going to we are with the help of different debugging options like that. Let me show you again. With the help of different debugging options, because this is used to switch between the uh, breakpoints. With the help of, we can go inside the compute node, we can run to completion, it will directly complete the flow, and we are going to get the machine output. And with the help of resume, we are going to switch between the breakpoints. So there are different options. So with these all options we are going to explore in the upcoming classes, okay. So that's and you can see the whatever the two options I sent in the using the debugger. If I will browse the message, we are going to see the same message. You can Tiwari and FF something written like that, okay. So with the help of that, we are going to see. One last thing I am thinking, I have left it that, because during the lecture that I have told, I have teached you, I have explained you this lecture during the creating the integration node. I have actually taught this lecture. While creating this integration node, I have created the integration broker, but I have not shown you how we can stop the integration broker, and how we can start the integration broker, and how we can delete the integration broker. This thing I have not shown you, okay. So let me show you how we can perform these all stop, start, and uh, deleting the integration broker in this lecture, okay. So if I will do the MQSI list, if I will do the MQSI list, let me see how many integration server are running. You can see currently 3 integration server running. Let me perform these all 3 operation to this node, because currently I don't want this node, okay. So if I want to stop the integration server, currently it is, you can see it is running a state. So if you want to stop this integration node, you have the command mqsi stop. Okay, and the node name which you want to store, that is mqsi stop node. Okay, this is going to stop the integration node. Okay, this topic I forget to taught you the stopping and starting, so later I recap that this thing I have not taught you. So that's the thing actually I thought to cover this thing. Okay, now you can see successful command completion. If I will do the mqsi list, it will list the status of the, and you can see currently this is in a stopped state. Okay, further if I want to start it, we have the command mqsi start. This will going to start the node s13 node. So this is going to start the integration node that we have stopped. And the last command I am going to show you to delete the broker. Okay, so let's wait until it is going to start it. Sometimes it takes the time to start it, so just wait until the command execution completed. Okay, okay, now it is completed. If I will list it, you can see currently the integration node is running. Okay, now let's delete the broker, but before deleting again I will say you, we have to follow the precaution. Before deleting, it is best practice to stop it. So let's stop the again broker. So first we need to stop it, then after it we are going to delete it. So let's stop this. Once the stop is completed, then we are going to delete it. Let's wait until it, okay, now it is stopped. You have a list again, it will list all the, you can see it is now it is in a stop tested. Again, if you want to delete the broker, we have the command mqsi delete broker, and the broker name, that is the ACE13 node. It will delete the broker. Similarly, what we have written here to create the broker, that we have the mqsi create broker and the broker name. Similarly, mqsi delete broker and the broker name. If I will click on enter, it will, you can see the successful command completion. And if I again list the broker, this broker is 13 broker is not going to show. You can see currently this 2 broker is showing. Okay, that is not showing. Okay, so that's the thing I have also covered. So we have covered, let me take a few minutes to summarize the thing. We have seen that the under the broker we have the integration server, under integration server we have the application, we have the message flow. Okay, after that we have seen the how we can create the integration node, how we can associate the integration node with the queue measure, and what are the different options we have explored the thing. Okay, after that we have seen the what are the use of mqsa profile, because the mqsa profile is the one of the important thing when you want to load the ACE environment to run the command from the anywhere. Okay, after that we have created the integration server and execution group, and we have seen the all possible option like the creating, stopping, starting and deleting the integration server. Okay, further we have created the application using the toolkit. We have created the message flow using the toolkit. We have created the bar file, and with the help of bar file we have deployed the application using the toolkit. Using the command prompt, we have the console. And apart from that, we have seen the all options of the applications and message flow, how we can stop start the message flow, and how we can delete the application, how we can deploy the application, how we can and we have seen all the options like that using the toolkit, command prompt and web console, these all things with the help message. Further, we have gone through the debugging thing, and we have seen how we can debug using the flow exciser, and how we have seen using the debugger. We have not covered the much thing. We have detail debugging session we have not covered here. Here this is the basic how we can debug using the flow exciser and debugger. Detailed thing we will be covering in the upcoming classes, how we can debug, because this is actually the thing we are going to, I am going to show in the each lecture how uh, what information is coming in during the debug mode. So you don't need to worry if you have again still confusion on the debugging thing using a flow exciser and debugger. This you don't need to worry about that. In the upcoming classes we are going to cover this thing in the much detail in the, how we can debug using a flow exciser and debugger thing. Okay, So that's the thing we are going to cover in the pretty much in detail in the upcoming classes. So we have seen how we can debug using the flow exciser. If in flow exciser we can just it is an inbuilt feature of the toolkit where we can just click on launch and we are going to deploy the application. After that we are going to put some message and we are going to see whether content between the paths. Okay, but there is another option where we can like that what we can do to where we can uh, launch the debug port, and after launching the debug port we will launch the debugger, and once debugger is launched we can add the breakpoint between the connectors and between the code also. If you want to add, we can add the breakpoints, and we can switch between the breakpoints. We can see what each line of the codes what is happening, everything we are going to see. So that's all about the breakpoint, about the debugging thing and the fluxizer and debugger thing. And at last I have forgot to explain the how we can stop the how we can stop the broker and start the broker deal the broker that already covered you. So I hope you have enjoyed the thing. Again, if you have any question, any type of query, you can reach out to me. I will send an email. Thank you all.